Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and today I'm going to be testing something that a lot of people think is dead, but I think there might be even more profit to be made in it than ever. And that's going to be breeding Cyndaquils for profit. A lot of people think that the Cyndaquil market has collapsed, or it's destroyed, or it's bad for the economy because the base price of Cyndaquils have gone down. And I understand where you're coming from. And if you look at a Cyndaquil with 31 special attack, we see it costs around 18k. If you were to buy a random Cyndaquil for 2k, a Ditto for 6k with special attack IV, and a brace, it's going to cost you around 18k just to make a 31 special attack Cyndaquil. So there's not really any profit to be made there. And that's super understandable. And it's kind of the same with a 2x31 Cyndaquil. It's going to cost you around 50k or so just to make one of these. There's not really any extra room for profit. Now, if you happen to roll Modest Nature, for those who don't know, 2x31 special attack and speed and Modest Nature is Cyndaquil is one of the most desired Pokemon in all of PokeMMO because everybody needs Typhlosions for gym reruns. So, if you happen to roll correct nature, you make a ton of money, but it's kind of risky because you're sitting there making no money just in case you hit that roll. But if you do hit that roll, you do make like 60k profit or so, which is pretty huge. So if you want to sit there rolling for that, like, I think it's like there's like 32 different natures. It's a pretty big roll. But if you want to sit there randomly rolling and just hoping for that nature, you can do that. Or we can buy the 2x31 Cyndaquils and then breed them with a 1x31 Ditto with correct nature. And I'll show you what that looks like. So let's go ahead and actually check for Modest. We'll do 31 speed first and then switch over to 31 speed. I have no idea which is actually going to be cheaper. So we see some Modest 31 speed, 40k, a bunch here. And then if we go over here, we see also a bunch of 40ks. Now, so what we're going to do is we are going to take the Cyndaquils, remember that were 50k a piece, the 2x31 Cyndaquils, and then one of these Dittos. So it's going to be 50k plus 40k plus an Everstone and a brace. So it ends up costing us around 100k per Cyndaquil. But if you remember the number of this, you're easily making around 20k minimum per Cyndaquil, which is pretty cool. At least like 15k, like really consistently with these breeds. Now, the only downside is there is no like huge upswing. There is no sort of, oh, I randomly rolled a nature, so now I make a ton more money. That doesn't really happen. So that's like kind of the down. It's very consistent moneymaker, but that's the best part about breeding, in my opinion, is how many ways there are to do it and how many like little loopholes or little positions in breeding exist for you to make profit. It's not always just 1x31s or 2x31s. Sometimes breeding 2x31 correct nature, 3x, 4x. There's so many pockets of breeding and so many parts to breed that really just open up so many opportunities to make Pokeyen. I was initially going to do a 10-minute timer, as you could have seen in the top right-hand corner of the stream, but I think 5 minutes is actually going to be plenty. Now, we've already prepared everything, so is this really 5 minutes spent breeding to make money? Not really. You know, we kind of found the line that we wanted to head down. We kind of found the loophole that we wanted to abuse in the breeding market first. So take that with a grain of salt. If you enjoy this type of video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe. But I'm going to go ahead and start my 5 minutes and just go ahead and start breeding. I am pretty drowsy today. I have woken up recently, so hopefully my clicks aren't absolutely terrible. My typing, let's see. So we're going to buy those 2x31s. Let's go ahead and start off with a couple of these breeds. We'll do 1, 2, just to start things off. We can look for those Dittos. I'll try to keep track of the price I spend as well. I do have my starting price written down, so it should be decently easy to keep track. We just want to make these eggs. I'll have to go buy the Everstones as well. We'll go ahead and get 1, 2. We'll go ahead and buy more of these while I'm here because I'll definitely come back for more breeds. We'll go ahead and do 1, 2, 3. I feel pretty comfortable doing that. Now, I just bought a bunch of breeds. I'm going to have to go to the market and buy Everstones as well, which hopefully are pretty cheap right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need 5 Everstones for all the breeds I just bought. I believe that might be too many. I'm not 100% sure. Then I'm also going to need different braces for these. So let's slow down a little bit so I don't make any mistakes. Let's go ahead and all of the Dittos are going to want Everstones. That's the easy thing to think about. And then the Cyndaquils, I believe some of them are going to need different braces. So this one is going to need speed. Let's see if this one for this breed also needs, because we need double speed. Let's go ahead and buy those. Put those on our Cyndas. All right, go carry through with these breeds. Now, obviously, the egg hatching, eggs take around 5 minutes to hatch in general, so those are going to have to be done sort of AFK time. I personally never count eggs as like, oh, part of the money making time, because it's something that should be done pretty like AFK. Like, you're not really spending any time and effort on it. Now, you should have eggs in your party pretty much always hatching, and just sort of passively be working on that if you do have eggs, or you can just hatch them later whenever you want to do AFK time in PokeMMO. I think it's fair to consider them 0 time. If you do not, that's also super fair. There's a lot of things to qualify. When you talk about making money, it all comes from a different perspective. So we have this Ditto ready to go that needs a pair with a special attack brace. So we have a couple more Dittos actually, but I don't have enough Cyndas. I need 3 more Cyndas. Let's go ahead and look for those. The issue is these are what's going to get expensive. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and buy those up. We'll go ahead and we need a special attack brace, I believe, for this one. Well, actually, we might need multiple of those. We'll roll with 1 for now, and we will check it in a sec. Let me go ahead and go do this breed. I'm definitely gonna get put into a position where I'm gonna have to put eggs in my boxes and hatch them later, and that's totally okay. Yep, this looks good. Obviously, never pay for gender. It's gonna be like 21K if you pay for genders. That's gonna get really expensive really quick. Also, a good reason for me to do 5 minutes on a timer like this is, like, I'm actually gonna throw all these eggs in the box right now. Another good reason to do 5 minutes on something like this is you don't want to do this for too long. You don't want to do all these Cyndaquils and all of these Dittos. You're going to crash the market. You can't just do this sort of money-making method. You can breed for profit for forever, but you cannot. Let me get special attack braces. You absolutely cannot. Perfect amount, by the way. 5 Everstones was exactly correct. You can't just do Cyndaquils. You can't just do the same one over and over and over again. That's going to crash any market. So I think doing 5 minutes is pretty solid. It'll give me a chance to make enough eggs, make enough profit, but also not crash the market. Finding how many you want to do, how many breeds of what Pokemon, of what species you want to do is really important. Honestly, I think I've done 5 so far. This is normally where I'd probably stop, maybe like 5 to 8, but that's kind of pushing it. Depends on the desirability of the Pokemon. Thankfully, Cyndaquils and Typhlosions are so desired that honestly this is mostly probably fine, but I might have to slow sell these a little bit. Go ahead and throw these eggs in the PC as well and get some more breeds if possible. We'll try to do like 2 or 3 more. Do 31s. We need our Cyndaquils. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to do 3 more, but that might be silly. If I can't get it through, I mean, we'll just do it after or something. We'll do Modest. Everybody wants Modest. Check speed. 44K. Let's check special attack. 42K. 1, 2. Go back to the speed. 44. Whew, okay. Everstone on the Dittos. Then I need, some of these need special attack, some need speed is the issue. 2 speeds, I believe, yeah. 2 speed. I'm not gonna be able to do that 3rd breed. I'll do it off camera. Don't worry, I still will make money off of it. My timer's ticking down. I'll still make money off of it, but I'm going to finish these breeds. I'm going to pause it there. I'm going to finish these 2 breeds. I will count those, but I will not go do that 3rd breed. I'll do that off camera at some point. And we're going to calc up how much profit I could make in this. Just those 5 minutes of making eggs. There's a lot of downtime in this. It's not actually just pure 5 minutes. I'm very honest with you guys in terms of the numbers when it comes to money making. You're gonna have to spend maybe a couple minutes finding that loophole in the market. You're gonna have to spend maybe you just won't find one certain days. You might have to spend 5 to 15 minutes actually listing off all the Pokemon. It should be pretty quick to actually list them off since these are so consistent. There's no like price checks on these. These should all be pretty simple. These all end up being like around 120K a piece or whatever. Let's go ahead and hatch these. Yeah, the price checks on these are really simple, thankfully. But let's go ahead and I'll do this later off camera. But we have 7 eggs made. It should be around 20K profit per egg, but we'll go ahead and see. That's including listing fee, if I'm not mistaken. 20K times 7. I should end up with around 140K profit, which is insane. In all honesty, let's say you let's say you find the loophole in like 5 minutes, maybe like 5 to 15. It depends. All I did to find that quote unquote loophole, I just checked Cyndas. I really just, all I did was I just checked the Cynda market for today. I just checked I checked 1x31, 2x31, and 2x31 with nature. That's all I did. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything super genius or smart. I'm not like, it's not that hard to like find a quote unquote loophole in a market. But let's say it takes me 10 minutes to hatch all these eggs, which is pretty high, and then 5 minutes to find it and 5 minutes to make the eggs. That's 20 minutes, let's say, and then listing will do 5. Let's say, yeah, around 20 to 30 minutes to make 140K profit. That's pushing around 300K profit per hour. I would argue it's more like that per 20 minutes. I think you could definitely find it really quickly. I think you could do this in 20 minutes pretty safely. So that's going to be 140 times 4 or times 3 for an hour. Going to leave you at 420K. I think you can easily make 400K plus breeding for profit. This was even, the crazy thing about this one was, like, as I talked about, there's no high rolls here. You can make a lot more profit breeding per hour. There's no crazy rolls. There's no crazy things. This is literally just consistency. This is just consistency, pure yen being made out of thin air, essentially, because people don't want to waste the time. If people are wondering why that's possible, why, why are people not buying? Why are people not breeding their own Cyndaquils, if the margin is that huge? And really the reason is, there's two big reasons. A lot of players don't want to learn breeding. It's a pretty daunting and intimidating mechanic, which I understand. I actually myself put off breeding for many years. Once the mechanic changed, I was very, very stubborn about not learning it. And that was one of the dumbest mistakes I made in PokeMMO. If you're someone who is intimidated or daunted or just doesn't really frustrated by, don't want to learn breeding, I really do encourage you to try. Keep it cheap. You can learn for cheap. But it can be intimidating. A mistake with breeding can cost you a fair bit of Pokeyen, and that's what's so stressful about it, which I super understand. You don't want to break the bank. You don't want to break the bank when you're early on like that. I can tell I'm pretty drowsy. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty insane. So it's a mixture of people don't want to breed and a mixture of people wanting to save time. A lot of people are just trying to buy these Cyndaquils and then just go level them up. I could also go level up all of these Cyndaquils if I wanted to. This is a money-making method that I've talked about a million times, but if I went and XP trained all of these into Typhlosions, they would sell for a bit more at around 150K. If I were to level them all to level 100 as Typhlosions and EV train them, of course, I'd sell them for like 250. This is actually underpriced, 280K. You're looking at like 280 to 300K per level 100 Typhlosion with these stats. Typhlosions and Cyndaquils will pretty much always have a range, always have a market because they're so profitable. A huge reason is, and I even encourage this, if you want to get into gym runs and you can afford it, it is actually better to just buy 2 Typhlosions off the GTL, go get into your gym runs immediately, as opposed to breeding your own Cyndaquils, leveling them up, XP training them, EV training them. Like, if you spend 600K and go start doing on your Typhlosions and go start doing your gym runs now, you'll make 300K per hour every day, like super brain dead easy. You learn faster. It is so much better to just jump into gym runs as soon as possible. So every money making method around, honestly, in the game ends up revolving around gym runs in a way, because it is so good and it's pure yen. But yeah, these Cyndaquils will make me some decent profit. I'll see you guys when I'm selling them off. All right, all my Cyndaquils are now hatched. 2 of them came out female. I'm curious if those will go for a bit more money. I kind of doubt it, but we'll go ahead and double check. They actually might. Let me go ahead and see what the cheapest female one is. So we're going to make even more profit than I expected. It's only for 8 hours. It's been up for 6 days at that price. I might go like 150K or something on the females. I might go a little higher on the females because theoretically they should sell for more. It makes a lot of sense. If people want to carry on the breed from this position, you can't really do that with a male. You do kind of have to get a female, because a 3x31 Ditto is going to be really expensive versus a 3x31 special attacking field egg group Pokemon. It's going to be way cheaper to carry this on with a female Cynda. So I probably will go 150 on those, to be totally honest, and make way more money than I actually expected. So we'll go ahead and do these for 150. Make sure I do that correctly. It's gonna be around a lot more on the listing fee than I expected, I will say. I'm gonna get my calculator up to go ahead and calc this profit. Now this is pure revenue right now. We'll go ahead and subtract the costs later. So we're gonna do we'll do 142K we'll just go ahead and calc that in now for each of these two Cyndaquils. So this plus 142k, I'm going to times 2. So this is our starting amount, not considering our costs yet. We'll go ahead and sell those off. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and make this 300,000 because I actually went ahead and I did write down my starting amount. So any Pokeyen spent on the listing fees is also going to get factored in to the cost once I subtract it from the starting amount. So I'll go ahead and just continue listing like this. These will all go up for the same price. I believe these will all go for 125k. Let me double check. Yep, as we can see, these should all go for 124,998, I believe. 124,998. That should be the copy paste price, 6k-ish per thing. Let me just go ahead and list all of these off, and I'll see you guys afterwards. All right, here's the last one. 125k will go to equals on the calculator. 925k. Now, that seems drastically high. Don't worry, we didn't make that much money. My starting amount of Pokeyen, let me get my notepad document. I had it written down. Now, my starting amount was 2 million. We'll go ahead and type this in the calculator. Keep track of that 925k number. 2,536,304 Pokeyen. The 304 doesn't really matter, but that was the starting amount. And now I am at, let me go ahead and see, 1 million. So we're going to do this minus 1,638,072. I'm hoping that this number after I click equals is around 140k. That's all I'm hoping for, around 140k. Well, obviously this number. So now I have to do the 950? Was it 925? I'll have to double check. Okay, well, the 925k minus the 892k, I believe. I must have done my math wrong somewhere. Typical YouTuber moment. Let me go ahead and this would end up equaling, yes, a nice 26k profit, which I know isn't the case. So let me go ahead and double check what I did wrong. Well, I just figured out what I did wrong. It's because I went ahead, I'm such a goofball. I went ahead and already bought this Cyndaquil and this Ditto, which I totally forgot about. So that cost me a lot more. All right, so to actually get our correct number, we have to add in the value of the Ditto and the Cyndaquil we bought, which I believe was around 52k or so for the Cyndaquil, and then around 42k for the Ditto. That looks a lot better, which is very closer, plus 5k for an Everstone if you really want to throw that in there, which is much back to being similar towards the number that I expected, but still low. I think I fucked up my number somewhere. If I keep calculating, I'll understand, but essentially, TLDR, you should be able to make 120 to 140, probably even more within 5 to 20 minutes, depending on the method. The point of this video is breeding Cyndaquils is still really good profit. Breeding any Pokemon is almost always really good profit. It depends. You want to wait. You want to find the right loophole within a certain breeding, a certain part of the economy, and then actually just attack it within like 5-minute period, make a bunch of eggs. I already had one Cyndaquil sold, which is really, really cool, but hopefully this video helped you guys. Hopefully it was entertaining. Apologies for the streamer math, KEKW. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos, follow the Twitch for streams, links down below, Discord's down below if you care about that, and if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, you can do so. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and maybe make some profit today breeding some Pokemon. Hey, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video. Hopefully it was a positive asset on your day in some way. And thank you to everyone's name who's on this list, who is a massive positive asset to my day every single day. I appreciate you all. Thank you for going above and beyond and allowing me to do what I do.